So before my transplant, a month before specifically, my lung collapsed. I think it was my third collapsed lung. We attempted a pleurodesis and it failed. The lung wouldn't seal itself back up. And when the pleurodesis failed, my other lung also collapsed. So during that month I was in the Royal Adelaide, I actually did my workup then. And by the time they flew me over emergency to Melbourne for ICU, I still wasn't listed. And I was only I think I only signed the paperwork 2 days before I actually got the call. So yeah, I was pretty poorly and had probably another day left by that stage when I got the call.
I never stopped doing things because of my illness. I always worked a way around it. And in the early years, that wasn't very hard to do. But as time went on and I got sicker, I had to work around it more and more, and the balance shifted between it not being invasive to taking up my whole life.
Before the transplant, I was pretty much confined to the couch. I needed help my husband would help me to go to the toilet, or he'd do all of the meals, all that sort of stuff, and I basically sat on the couch and waited for the days to pass.
My life before transplant was, I guess, different to everybody else's in the fact that I was only diagnosed with CF when I was 61 years of age. And the time between diagnosis and transplant was only 8 months. So I really didn't have time to think about it or react differently or anything. The decline was fairly rapid in the 18 months before transplant, but I guess most of my life I'd had chest problems anyway. I was diagnosed with CF in September 2016 and had surgery in May 2017. I was on the official waiting list for 11 weeks of that time. Before I received that phone call at 4 a.m. in the morning. I guess day-to-day planning was fairly difficult, having to work out how much oxygen to take with me on outings and that type of thing. There's a concentrator at home which gave me 10 metres of freedom from the middle of the house to the front or the back of the house. Yeah, it was really quite difficult and everything had to be pre-planned.